Okay, class, let's get started with the rigging and animation of our Lego character. So we have parts 1, 2, 3 in the description on how to get modeling and get to this point in the Lego character, okay? So we will set up the rig. Well, it's just forward kinematic, so it's a parenting lesson more than anything, and pivot point manipulation, okay? So let me turn on my screencast here so you guys can see what I'm typing, okay? And we will proceed to this one. So I'm just going to go to a material preview here so we can see all our gizmos, and I'm going to turn off the lights right here so they don't get in the way, okay? And I'm going to create a new collection here just so that I can easily drag the lights to that so that they and the camera. Okay, so they're separate from our main collection, which is the geometry. All right, so I can then make them disappear easily, and we could work on this one. All right, so if you follow the tutorial, the legs and the hip, well, it's supposed to be there actually, for the pivot point should be ready. And I just need to make sure that all the pivot points are located where they should be so that when we animate this in forward kinematics, we're good to go. All right, so first things first, we got the legs all set up. So what we want from this is we're going to go to global right here. We're going to animate this in local, okay? So that all the, because there's some angles right here is what I'm talking about. So if you rotate this, even when it's pivot points on the X, there's an angle right here. It will not rotate properly. It will go through the mesh, okay? So we're going to be animating this in local coordinate system, meaning it follows the orientation of kind of like the local axis, how we set it up. All right, so let's go with the leg. Let's put its limits, right? So we're only animating this along the Z-axis, okay, in local, right? If it's in global, of course, it'll be the X. So we're going to go local. All right. So we're going to lock scaling. We don't want to scale this. We don't want to move this also. Okay. And which is allowed the Z axis only. All right. So we'll do the same thing for this. No scaling. And you get the sidebar by pressing N, by the way. No movement. No XY rotation, just Z axis. Okay. All right, what about this one? Let's set up the cursor for this first. We want to make sure that the cursor is the same as that, right? So we want our 3D cursor first. Okay, cursor to selected. So you can see it jumped to the same pivot point right there, okay? So now, if we go to the front, we can, so that it's the same kind of position where it's at, right? Where it's pivoting, right? Because we want it to go dead max center right there. So if we go to the sidebar, we go to view, you see your cursor selection. And along the X, we want it to be, is it perfectly centered? Actually, it's not. Let's select the whole thing. Now we'll just put it there. Okay, it's off by a bit, but that's all right. Along the X, we type in 0 right here. It's at the center. That's all we care right there. It's at the center. So that when we select this torso or hip, we can go to Object, Set Origin to the 3D cursor. So now it's right there whenever we want to rotate this. So we're in local. So its rotation is on X on local on this one. So let's say no scaling, no movement. And you're only allowed along the X, okay? And no XY because we want that for the body. So now we want to parent both legs to the hip, okay? So let's name this first. So this is the leg dot L for left. So this is, we're kind of training you in Blender armature naming convention so that you can symmetrize the bones later on without typing the name. It knows when you put .L or .R that it's for the other side. So this one is also leg.R. Okay, and this one is the hip. Okay, so if we select both legs and then shift click the hip last. Control P, set parent to object. So now whatever we do with this, which is X, right? The both legs kind of follow. So if we go like so, just for the sake of kind of demoing, all right, or like so, right there. And we want to animate, there we go. So they follow now, okay? Undo, undo. All right, so they're all set here, everything we need, okay? All right, so let's go to the body. The body's supposed to rotate down here. So we're going to / so we isolate just the body. We're going to hit tab, select the bottom one, and then we want the cursor to jump to that. So like before, we go to mesh, snap, cursor to selected. Okay, then we go to object mode. We go to set origin to 3D cursor. So now if we go here, / okay, I do let's no scaling. Okay, no movement. All right, what else here? Just rotation. So it's only allowed to rotate on local along the z-axis. Okay, so we lock those two as well. All right, so now the parent of the body is the hip. So we're going to select the body, shift click the hip, Control P, object. So now let's take a look. So when we rotate the well, we're not going to rotate this, we're going to have a controller that's doing that. But if we rotate this along the X, there you go, the body follows, but it has its independence. Okay, so now let's go over the head and / we're going to do the same thing. We're going to select the bottom piece right here, or actually all the bottom piece right there. So I increased my selection, so it selects all these things. We're going to go to mesh, snap to cursor to selected. We go to object mode. Make sure you're in object mode, otherwise you won't see the option to set the origin to 3D cursor, / to bring everything back. I'm going to go to the front right here, or hit tilde to get all your viewports. Okay, and no scaling, no movement for the head. We're not doing the Lego animated movie. I think they rotate this, multiple ways. We're just going to keep it like as if it's the toy. So only z-axis is allowed. Okay, when we're in local, all right? We're in local. Okay, so now we shift click the body. The body is the parent of the head. Wherever we move the body, well, we can't move it. Whenever we rotate, it follows. Okay, so you go like so. And there's some counter animation that you have to do for forward kinematics. Okay, so undo, undo. All right, and then we get the body right here, and the whole thing follows. All right, so now the tricky part for the arms. I still have my mirror on this one, so let me get rid of that. So mirror, apply. So now there's no more mirror. I'm going to / this so that we isolate it. So I'm going to go tab to go to edit mode. I have X-ray on. I'm going to select this arm right here. Press P to separate the selection. So P, separate selection. So now if I hit tab here, we now have two independent arms, right? So let's name this one. This is arm.L. The other one is arm.R. Okay, so let's set the pivot point for this one. So I'm going to, well, you could manually, you can go to your pivot point right here and then just kind of stick it right there. That's pretty close. Okay, and then the problem is it's not over here. So when you go to the side, okay, we go to, let's say, wireframe right there. Okay, and you want to grab it and then just move it back right here at the center. You can do that, or you can also go to view. That's we're in local right here, y-axis. We can move that. Okay, hold down shift so that it's not as fast. And let's say that's good right there. You could also do that, or you can manually, while you're in there, you can just kind of eyeball where the rotation should be. Okay, right there, and you're good. Okay, So, but right here we gotta make sure it's on this side because that's where I click it. You could do that, okay? You can position it anywhere, or you can get a selection, kind of like this. So let's say yours is hollow, it doesn't have the closing that I have right here. And this is our not quads, this is rigid body, so it's fine. You can select, let's say, the entire ring like so, and then you can make it mesh, snap, cursor to selected, and there it is. Okay, even if there's a hole in here, you can still select those. So I want to make sure that mine is strictly whatever's on the side. Okay, right there, and I go mesh, snap to selected. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, cursor to selected, and then we go to object mode. We set the origin to the 3D cursor, and voila, there it is. But let's fix this now because this is not on its local. So when we are rotating this, here's the problem. Okay, so if we rotate this locally along, let's say, the X, see it rotating, it's going through the geometry. You see it? It's going through the geometry right there. So what we need to do is manipulate the cursor so that it goes at an angle. Okay, and that's pretty easy to do. All we have to do is turn on, and we're in local, just remember that. Turn on sidebar, okay? Go to tool, and then effect only origin, okay? And make sure you turn this off, kind of like this tool right here. When you have this thing on, whatever you do, that cursor, like they call it the fly before, it just keeps just jumping everywhere, right? So make sure you turn this off after. So I'm going to click origin only. As you can see, I have access to the origin now, and I can change. So it's a right angle right now. I'm going to go here along the z-axis. I'm going to rotate this kind of like so until that thing is aligned. Okay. And when I let go of the effect only, uncheck it, guess what? The origin for this one is now staying at a local. And then it's, if I go here and rotate this along the, let's say, what are we? X-axis. Yeah. And then it does that. But before I do all of that stuff, I forgot. I have values here. We can go here, object, apply, transformable deltas. Okay. So that it zeroes out everything. Okay. So let's do the exact same thing here. Okay. So let me repeat all that process. So we go to select the face here. Okay. And then we're going to tell the snap cursor to selected. Go to object mode. Set origin to 3D cursor. And now this is set. But even on local, it doesn't know the orientation. So we're going to go to view. Tool. Effect origin. Then zoom in right here. I'm going to move, rotate this so it's aligned to that slant right there. Uncheck, and voila, we're here, and it's going to have values. So we're going to apply transform deltas, so everything is zeroed out except for the scale, and we are good to go there. Okay, and let's take care of the arms right now. They're kind of, I did a poor job here, kind of positioning those properly there. Let's see if I could fix that a little bit. Okay, I still have mirror. Okay, so I'll go to edit mode. I'm going to select everything here. All right, select everything. I'm going to put X-ray on. All right, and what I want to do is let's kind of, I guess, rotate this a little, and it's mirrored, so it's happening on the other side too. Think like that. It's kind of centering it. Okay, so it's more in line with over here, maybe. Or maybe I need to rotate it just slightly. All right, I'm kind of nitpicking at this point. Okay, let's go to the side and maybe rotate it a little bit like so, and bring it over like so. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it, centering it. Okay, let's say that's good. Okay, so what we need to do is do the same thing. Apply the mirror. Okay, and isolate it for now. While everything is selected, press P, selection. Now I have independent hands right here. So what I need to do for this one, oh, did I not separate it? I thought I did. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, P, selection. All right, so now I have independent. Okay, I don't know why it didn't work on that first time. Okay, so I'm gonna select this, select the top right there, same thing as before, mesh, snap to, cursor to selected, go to object mode, object, set origin to 3D cursor. Okay, let's isolate this for sure by itself, and then now we're going to go to this side right here, and we're going to have to go to tool, affect the origin only, and it's already kind of like at an angle, and we just want to make sure that we're going to follow kind of like the straight. Okay, I'm going to turn on wireframe right here so we could see the lines right here, so we could match that angle easily. All right, or I'm going to go the opposite way. So I'm lining up to the line right here. Okay, and then if we go to the front, we're lining up to the lines. There we go. So this line's right here. So if we turn that off, let's take a look. If we go Z-axis, all right, so it's just rotating along that. Looks pretty good. All right, so let's bring this one over, isolate it. Okay, select the face right here. All right, and then we're gonna go mesh, snap to cursor to selected. We go to object mode, we go object, set origin to 3D cursor. All right, so don't get confused here. I turn on wireframe temporarily so we could see the alignment. Okay, so we go to tool, turn on origin again. Let's go to the side first. Okay, I'm going to just rotate this down like so I can eyeball that line is, you know, it's almost parallel. Okay, and then when we go to the front, we're parallel to this lines right here. So I'm going to grab green and just kind of eyeballing it. All right, I think that's good enough. Uncheck origin, and let's get rid of the wireframe now. We'll do the, all right, that works. Let's bring out everybody now, out. There it is. There's that. Okay, so let's see here if we got, yeah, transform deltas. So apply transform deltas on that one. This one is good. This one, transform all deltas. Okay, just kind of checking. We have a little value, but now we're going to rotate it. So almost there. This one. All right, so let's see. Rotate. Okay, so it's doing its thing. All right, so let's parent. This one is Control P. That's the parent object. The arm, parent to the body. Okay, parent it to the body. So select the arm, shift click the body, Control P, object, always shift click the parent. Okay, last, Control P, object, this one to this one, Control P, object. All right, so now let's take a look how it works. So Z-axis, X-axis, sorry, X. Okay, and then this one we have Z. All right, and this one we have, oh, we haven't done it. So scale. Okay, and then no movement, only X-axis. There we go. Awesome. This one. Oh yeah, let's do the same thing here. No movement, and then this is blue, so Z-axis only rotation. All right, do the same thing to this one. No scaling allowed, no movement allowed. Z-axis only. That's one. No scaling, no movement. Let's see here. X, okay, X-axis only. All right, I'm gonna hit save here. I'm gonna save as, let's see, character, Lego character lesson for rigging. There you go. Overwrite that. Okay.